Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala syarafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah, we continue today with the second part of our chapter 4 on the nature of opportunity, potential and success in life. I have explained to you in the previous video that there must arise three conditions for us to be able to achieve success in life. Number one, there must exist this potential, the potential of doing anything within the framework of the capabilities that is endowed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So as we mentioned, if you want to be a tennis player, then you should have the physical capability to play tennis, in the sense that you have eyesight, you have your physical body all suitable for playing tennis. So that is the potential. If you don't meet that potential, then there's another level. Secondly is the opportunity to express that potential. And thirdly, the conditioning through the laws of learning, the shaping process, the constant practice to develop that opportunity into a reality. So I'm going to explain to you how people become champions or world champions or the best in the world and so on. But is it something special? This is where we continue. All right, on 1-2 paragraph that I'm going to read, and then I'm going to explain to you. So we are talking about the example of the world-class tennis player. There would probably be millions of people throughout the world who, if having undergone the appropriate conditioning, could play tennis better than the present world champion. So anybody and everybody who continuously play tennis, we under the three conditions of having a true potential in terms of the physique, in terms of the opportunity to play tennis, and in terms of the conditioning and the shaping process from the day they are young, 4 or 3 years old, right, until the day they become champion at the age of 22 or 23. There is this continuous process of conditioning towards directing them towards becoming a world champion. All right, but it doesn't mean that he is special. Being the best is never a very special thing to be. Somebody will always be the best in the world in each different thing that people do. So there will be somebody the best in terms of, for example, like say cosmology, Stephen Hawking. He has passed on already to the next world. All right, and who is replacing him, we do not know. We have previously, say, Einstein, or we have great scholars in terms of Quranic studies, sages, waliullah and so on. They have carried through this deen for more than 1,400 years ago. They go through the same shaping process, the same conditioning process. They have the potential. They were then groomed by their families, their friends, their teachers, and then they excel and become the great scholar. Like for example, up to today, we still, when we mention the name Al-Imam Ghazali, we say, wow, he has written more than 200 over books. Just in those good old days where there's no library, he carried his library all on his head. But the conditioning to do that, he started his studies by the age of 3, and he became a Hafiz by the age of 5. So basically, these are efforts put in by our predecessors to be the best in the world in whatever field that we want to aspire to be. So being the best is nothing special, but it is the expression of the potential, expression of the opportunity, and expression of the conditioning. Somebody will always be the best in the world in each and different thing they do. There will always be large number, perhaps millions of others who could have been better than the person who is now the best. All right, say for example in playing tennis, if they had undergone the right experiences in their life. The best person who is the best in the world at anything is not special. It is the experiences that they have undergone that are special. So the kind of training, the kind of methodology, the kind of motivation, worldview, at the various levels of conditioning in which, and in Islam, as I say, we have this conditioning at a physical, emotional, mental and spiritual level. All this bring about for them to become achievers, excellence in whatever that they aspire to do. It means little to be the best compared with others. It means that more have to express in your own potential to the fullest. Of course, millions of people could have become better cooks, engineers, race car drivers, psychologists, environmentalists, swimmers, doctors, carpenters, alim, ulama, and so many things. Virtually any other skill that you can name. that person who is presently the best in the world need not be the one and only. It could be there are other thousands or hundreds of thousands of people who can beat them, provided they have gone through the same opportunities throughout their life, in terms of their potential, in terms of their opportunity, and in terms of the shaping and conditioning process through the laws of learning for them to achieve whatever that they can do. This goes to show that the potential within each of us is virtually unlimited. Probably no one yet understands the true nature of their potential. That means the potential of the human being. That potential is expressed to us in Al-Quranul Kareem, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us and gave us the knowledge of all things. This is when Adam was, our forefather, Prophet Adam, was given this whole understanding of the nature of things. That means the potential for us to master quantum physics or physiology or chemistry is all here. It is not expressed yet. That means the potential for all the knowledge in the world, in this dunya, is all expressed in our psyche, our nature of being. This is where the nature of consciousness, of understanding things, can only come when it is expressed. And it can only be expressed through the three conditions of potential, opportunity, and conditioning. Alright? So, if we look at what we know, human potential is beyond even the grandest dream. So, the dream, for example, now they want to have artificial intelligence, developing the algorithm for artificial intelligence, which is a very big task. Alright? That they can replace, for example, robotics, that can replace human beings in doing manual work, which now they are doing already. For example, in farming, they have these huge farming machines for wheat farming or carrot farming, whatever, which is completely robotics. The machines are driven by artificial intelligence. There's no driver. The planting, the harvesting, the sending to the processing centers are all done without human touch. The same thing now, they are doing mining, huge machines, all using self-driving vehicles. Alright? Self-driving, for example, excavators. Each time they excavate is 1 ton. And these machines are carrying 20 to 50 ton load in one go. And they can drive on their own, go to the processing center, drop their goods, and go again, just like an ant. But these are what? Artificial intelligence, self-driving robotic system. This is one example of how we see the limits of human potential, but it could be to the detriment of human beings. What we'll be doing, for example, is this world now taken up by all these millions and billions of artificially intelligent robots and self-driving vehicles. What would we do? That's why there must be an answer to the nature of the future of this world by Muslims. What kind of future that we want to express our full potential? Our full potential and our full knowledge is not expressed by the things, these physical things, with these robots, AI, intelligence, machine, and all. They are things. But the reality is our full potential in terms of our ruh, in terms of our qalb, in terms of our akal, in terms of our jasad. Those are the reality of the absolute dream, from the absolute that Allah has given to Nabi Adam alayhi salam to us. We carry the legacy of the fullness of human existence in terms of the relative existence compared to the absolute existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the potential is limitless. So we see that as one example of how human beings in the 21st century will change the world, but are we changing it for the better or for the bad? So that's why it needs a lot of very, very good thinking human beings to preserve this nature of human existence, to make it a contemplative, knowledge-based, beautiful, loving, caring, sharing, just society, where even though we have robots and machines and self-driving vehicles, all of us have the satisfaction of knowing how we can lead a good life, a peaceful life, a joyful life, a life of iman, a life of taqwa, and so on. Those are issues that we have to address not far from now, maybe 20, 30 years from now. So I'm giving you this scenario as a understanding of the future, that the potential of human existence may even transcend us. We may have, for example, bionic machines fitted to our legs or our arms, or even to our artificial organs and things like that, which they will be hybrid. All right, but what is the nature of human consciousness, what is the nature of the roh, the qalb, the akal, and the jasad, and how we can bring ourselves to understand that the greatest potential is ubudiyah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we submit to Him and we receive the full flowering of our full potential. Not in the physical thing of being an engineer or being a doctor or being a physicist or being an AI specialist, but being a totally wonderful human being, expressing our knowledge vis-a-vis the gift of knowledge that Allah has given us. Because this knowledge doesn't come from thin air. This knowledge comes from the full potential as expressed when Allah created us to be His servant, to be His Khalifa on this earth. He gave us the potentiality of the knowledge of all things. And when we understand that, we understand that our potentiality are unlimited, and inshallah, if we can express it in terms of the well-being of ourselves as an ummah, striving to be the true and sincere servant of Allah, always striving to make ourselves good, helping others to be good, making the world good, creating a new society based on this Deenul Islam in the 21st century, inshallah.